What if I told you delegation was not that hard? What if I told you that the reason why you're scared to delegate is actually because you just don't know how? What if I told you that if I could teach you how to delegate through 3 simple steps, that it would completely transform your feeling towards your business and what you can actually achieve? My name is James Robinson. I'm the co-founder of the Gym Owner Network and head of March on Gyms. I've led countless teams and coached hundreds of gym owners like you to learn how to lead, to build a high-performing team, to be able to delegate and see your team completely thrive and build a level of trust in your team that allows you to build a business that you're truly, truly proud of. So, without further ado, let me show you what I have in store for you. So, delegation is a funny one because right now you're stuck. You're stuck doing these 3 things. You're the task doer. You're irreplaceable. God, who can replace me? I'm the only one who can do this. And you're just going to keep fighting fires. If you're kind of somewhere here, let me describe your day. Your day starts really early. Things happen. And at the end of the day, you go home. You're absolutely fucked. And you have no idea what you did that day. You know you were busy, but you have no idea how you moved the needle forwards. You were too busy fighting fires, too busy doing things, and you're like, what just happened? And if that's your normal day, I'm assuming that's your week. I'm assuming that your weekend is you just trying to fucking recover so you can go again and not break. If, let's say, you're at least taking a Sunday off. You might be like some of the other idiot gym owners who also have to show up on a Sunday as well. Anyway, if this is you, guess what? It doesn't have to be this forever. I've seen this happen time and time again, and I've coached hundreds of gym owners like you to overcome these things. The key about delegation is recognizing that it's not I'm just going to hand you the thing. So if it were sales, you don't go to your coach and go, you're going to do sales now. Here's the phone, make calls. There's a process. And that process is what you're scared of. But the time that you dedicate into coaching and handing over and delegating said thing to someone in your team, the more time you spend in the beginning, the more time you buy back later down the line. The quicker you just hand it over, the more problems you incur later down the line. Delegation is all about this process that we do together until which it's delegated. Understanding like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. What is it? This is how I currently do it. This is the systems behind it. This is why it's important. That's super, super critical when it comes to handing over to someone on the team. To which, then, I call it going over the bridge together. So in order for this to be delegated, the chasm between where we are now and where we want to get to, where it's now owned by the individual in the team, is recognizing that here's this thing, we're going to go over it together through SOPs, coaching sessions, case studies, KPIs, weekly reviews, etc., in a way in which we can clearly define how do they win at their job. Only which, when they go, I'm cool, I've got this, give me space, only at that point have you crossed the bridge and you're like, sweet, that's yours, now own it. Your fear is that the time it takes for you to delegate to someone is too expensive for you right now, so you think you are the only one who can do it. It's not worth your time. And let me tell you this, that kind of thinking is small mind thinking. It's the kind of gym owner who thinks that he still needs to PT because that £50 an hour is like super necessary for him right now because I'm broke. But what if I told you your time is no longer worth £50 an hour? What if I told you that that same hour you could probably generate £250 in that hour? What if I told you those 10 hours a week that you're spending doing one-to-one, talking to fucking Jane about her dog and what's happening on the weekend, and if her husband's still having an affair? What if I told you that you didn't have to have those conversations anymore for £50 an hour, rent a friend? What if I told you you could spend that time chasing your new leads, marketing and getting more leads, and making sales to people who are going to come, experience your new service, let's say at a low level front end offer of £250. What if in those same 10 hours, you were able to do 5 sales? What if in those 5 sales, you generated over £1,000? And actually now, is your time worth £125 an hour, or is your time still worth £50 an hour? It's a real good mental stretch for you to then start to determine, how can I work on the business and do things that are way more valuable than the burger flipping things that you were doing? So you need to move from task doer to system builder. What if you spent that newfound time, or in fact, let's say you're so stretched that you're going to have to put in some extra hours. You're going to have to work late nights and the Sunday mornings to build systems, but it's going to make delegation so much easier that you no longer have to be the task doer. That's number one. Number two, you think that you're irreplaceable. What I need you to get to is scalable. If you are good, and I'm going to go on the basis of you set the gym up because you were a very good coach. You were once very successful. You had loads of PT clients, and you thought, do you know what, I can scale this. But then you open up a gym, you priced it wrong, you got it all wrong, and next thing you know, you're working 80-hour weeks and you're barely making £2,000 a month. Your partner's going, when are you going to be able to take money out of the business? And you don't know how, because you've created this idea that you're irreplaceable and there's no way out. Where in fact, you need to make the time to scale your IP, the thing that made you good before you open up the gym. That's the shit that we need to double down on. And then lastly, most gym owners, business is always fighting fires. I'm not going to come and lie to you and say you're not going to have fires in your business. But most of them are just little candles. They're not massive, forest fires. You think it is, but it's not. But what we want to get to is get you to a place where you're leading teams, allowing teams to have the skill sets, the frameworks, the confidence to put these fires out for you before they even come to your attention. That's where the rubber meets the road. So delegation is a process, first and foremost, where you need to move away from these current thought processes. These ways in which you are kind of identifying yourself or finding value in your day-to-day. Like, look at me, look how much I do, look how, whatever, all this bullshit. And you need to start to aim to become this person. If we move towards this level, you start to become a leader of teams, a leader who can find time to work on the business. And the more you do that, and the more you start to delegate over to your team, the more freedom you create. Freedom to work then on the business, which in fact is going to then impact how quickly the business can grow. It's going to impact the ability to pay your staff more, to give them a longer career, to give them more fulfillment, to invest into their CPD, to invest into the gym, to keep growing, scaling. And lo and behold, you're now becoming the leader you want to be. Delegation is not as scary as you think. What you're afraid of is doing the work. You'd rather do the work that you think you know, whereas the sooner you unpack that and teach someone else to do it, the sooner you find freedom. Gym owners, doesn't have to be that hard. Stop playing gym ownership on hard level. Come over to the Gym Owner Network, come to the dark side, and we'll show you how to do it properly. To become extremely professional in the way in which you lead yourself, first and foremost, and your team, and then take your business to a whole nother level. I'm James Robinson, over and out.